Hey, what's going on? It's Ryan Stewman, and I'm going to share with you some important information for a time like now. You may be watching this at one point in the future and be like, time like what? Well, right now we're going through a huge pandemic thing, and not to downplay the virus, I just don't know what the fuck that means, to be honest with you. I Googled it, and it's like the next level above an epidemic. But because of that, a lot of us free Americans are locked up. We're told to shelter in a place and work from home. And can be difficult with your kids and your spouse. And so I want to give you some tips on how to digitally prospect, because many of you are used to walking through the door of a business, or you're used to walking through the door, knocking on doors at someone's home. And a lot of you have been told that you just can't do that. Depending on what state that you live in, you may not be able to do that at all. I know here in the great state of Texas, roofers are deemed essential, so you can still knock doors if you're a roofer. But hell, in Texas right now, if you knock a door and, people might worry that you got the virus, they might pull a gun on you. The other day I drove by a gun store. There was like a line around the block for this thing. I mean, there had to have been at least 60 fucking people outside of this store. So probably not a good time to knock on people's doors. You know what I'm saying? And so what I want to share with you is how to digitally prospect people the proper way. Like, not how to spam people or how to annoy people or how to piss people off, because the last thing you want to do is burn bridges during a time like this, that when you can cross that bridge during some point in the future. One thing I'm certain of, and I don't know when, is that this shit will pass, right? At one point, this is all going to be over with, and it's all going to be back to business as usual, and we are going to be able to move forward as not just a country, but an entire planet, and have a huge learning lesson from all of this. And I'm not a fearmonger or a panderer of it's the end of the world, get your tinfoil hat on and call Alex Jones, right? Like, I'm not that guy. What I want to do is I just want to help you out at this time in need. Some of you aren't used to working from home. Some of you don't know how to focus and don't know how to use shit digitally. And I want to say this before I get into the actual training, okay? We shape how we think as human beings between the ages of 3 and 7. Now, I have a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an 8-year-old, okay? Those guys don't know shit. So think about it, like, we form how we think during those ages. And I can tell you, my kids are brilliant for their age, but you put them up against the folks that are watching this, they don't know shit. They haven't had any experience, but for some reason we're trained to have this cognitive understanding of how things work at a young age. Well, the only time that we change how we think is when we're faced with a life-altering difference, a life-altering change, a differentiator that makes us have to. It forces our backs against the wall into a situation to where we have to change how we think. And so the reason why I share that with you is right now we're being forced with our back against the wall to how we think. We're being forced to change. The differentiator right now is the coronavirus. And so because of that, you're being forced to do something you've never done before, digitally prospect. Some of you have been running from social media and technology, and you've been telling yourself the fucking bullshit of excuse of, well, I'm just not a tech person. And now you're like, oh, fuck, dude, tech is the only thing that can save my business. What do I do? First of all, never, ever, ever put yourself in that situation again. Not just tech, with anything. When something new comes out, learn that shit. Start to utilize it, because you never know when you're going to need it. Right? Don't be the fucking old man that's like, I'm just too old for this shit. That's foolish thinking. Okay? That's how people get caught with their pants down. Right? That's how people get caught. Literally, there was a lady the other day on Zoom. It's got 10, 15 million views on Facebook. And she literally got caught with her pants down. She didn't know to turn the camera off on her phone when she was on a Zoom meeting, and she pulled her pants down and went and took a piss in front of everybody on a corporate meeting in Zoom as if nothing happened. She should have probably got on Zoom and fucked around with that a little bit before the fucking big company meeting. Okay? You should have probably learned technology, and especially since we live in the age of technology, right? There's been the age, the golden age, the Baroque period, and now we live in the age of technology. And some of you for the last 15 years have been going, well, the internet's not really my thing. Really? Really? The internet is not your thing? Get the fuck out of here. You're watching this on the internet, okay? And so your back is forced against the wall. My back's been forced against the wall a bunch of my life. I've had a lot of adversity that I've had to overcome, which is really, at the time, it seems like a pain in the ass, right? Which change is always a pain in the ass, and it usually pisses you off. But now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh shit, man. Every time that my back has been forced against the wall, I've had to change how I think. And every time I change how I think, I become better at thinking. And every time I become better at thinking, I become a better person. I become a better business person. I've been through divorce. I become a better husband. I've been adopted. I become a better dad, right? So this is an opportunity for you to get better at technology. Because here's what's happening to your competition. Your competition is making one of two choices: to watch videos like this and learn how to be better digitally, or they're just gonna fold like a lawn chair and just be like, oh man, we didn't do it. I don't get technology. We're fucked. Don't be like that. Make this an opportunity when your back's against the wall and you're forced to change. Make sure you make the right change. So the first thing you want to do in the digital age is you don't want to go to LinkedIn and scrape your contacts and spam them. That's only going to piss people off. Plus, everybody's doing that. You have to be different than everybody else. If you're going to stand out, and you're going to get people to know, like, and trust you, you got to be different than everybody else, okay? Right now, the inbox is filled with coronavirus bullshit. Nobody's even reading them anymore. Like, yeah, we know there's a virus. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Like, about your email, not the virus. And so think about that for a minute. Everybody's mailing, oh, here's our standards. Here's how we operate during the coronavirus. Like, I don't give a fuck how you operate during the coronavirus. You got to do something different, okay? You got to do something that allows you to stand out. Okay, and listen, you got to play the long game right now. A lot of people don't have money right this minute. A lot of people can't buy your services, but that doesn't mean that they won't be able to buy your services or products or goods, and they won't have money in the near future. But if you burn that bridge right now by doing stupid shit, they're not going to buy from you in the future because they're just going to think you're stupid. Now, remember, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So how do they get to know you? Number one, start posting on Facebook more often. But don't make posts about your business. Now's not the time to do that. There's a process I call M3. It's the media marketing method. That's the 3 M's, right? It's been around since the dawn of time. It basically says 80% of your content, your posts, your videos, anything else needs to be giving. It needs to be entertaining, educational, shit that people want. 20% of your posts need to actually be about your business, but I believe that even with the 20% of your posts, you don't even need a call to action. If you're doing your job good enough, then you won't need a call to action because people will know you and they will reach out to you. See, I don't like cold calling people. I don't like DMing people being like, hey, yo, you need some Facebook help right now, right? Like, you're not going to get this video in your DM and go, hey, watch this video. It's not how I operate. You're not going to get a spam email from me. It's like, hey, I made this video for you. That's not how I operate. You got to reach out to me. Well, the way that's actually something called attraction marketing. And the way that attraction marketing works is, number one, you have to become the attractive character. And the way that you become the attractive character is by talking about things that your audience cares about. See, right now, I know my competition is out there saying it's the end of the world. They've got their tinfoil hat on and everything else. And right now, I know that my marketplace, the people like you need motivation. You need education. You need things that are going to inspire you to get through this bullshit, not make you more anxious, angry, and fucking fearful. And so what I've been doing is I've been making posts on all my social media channels about we're going to get through this. Here's what you can do to get through this. 10 steps how to work at home, how to digitally prospect, right? Videos like this, things that help people out without the end of it saying, oh, and by the way, buy my shit. Okay, that's not what I'm about right now. I'm playing the long game. Right now, I am giving, and that's number two. You want to be able to give, right? Right now, you got to have the heart of a giver because there's going to be a bunch of fucking takers in the industry right now. Whatever industry you're in right now, there's a bunch of starving people. And when people are hungry, they will do anything. That's why we get hangry, right? We get mad enough to go kill an animal. That's why we're designed that way. That's what hungry and anger, hangry. That's where that comes from. We have to be mad enough to go out as hunters and kill things. So right now there's a bunch of hangry people that are out there. They're scamming people. They're not giving refunds. They're not minding their business right. They're not paying their employees. They're laying people off. They're being very greedy. And you don't need to fall for that, okay? You just got to endure this and withstand it for a period of time. It's not going to last forever. Even if it lasts 90 days or 90 months, it's not going to last forever. We're going to come back, okay? But you have to be a giver. Right now, I've given to food banks. I've given more to our church because our church has a benevolent arm that outreaches and helps feed people and stuff like that. I've given to children sex slave prevention right now because there's lots of that going on. Like, I'm giving tips, I'm making videos, I'm being a giver right now because that's how people are going to know me as. They're going to know me as Ryan, the guy that gave us shit. And then what's that going to do? That's going to make them like me, okay? Right? So they know me, they like me, and they see that I'm a giver and that I'm helping them. They're like, dude, we can trust Stewman because in down times, he actually took care of everybody instead of ripping everybody off. Like right now, the West End Galleria called us, which is where we were just about to have a seminar here in a couple weeks for 1,000 people, and they canceled on us. They said, you know, we want to keep your money, of course, but we can't. We don't have the staff, and the city of Dallas has mandated that we close down until May, so you can't throw your event here. Here's your money back. I didn't go and call everybody and go, well, see, what had happened was I got ripped off and blah, blah, blah. No, what I did was I gave people their money back or 10 times store credit, and I said, fuck it, this is now free. We're going to stream it over the internet. I got all the speakers to agree to do it, and now we're just going to give it to the world for free forever. No selling the package, no like, oh, well, you know, we're going to keep your money, but now you can watch it online. It was like, dude, we're just going to give it for free to everybody, okay? And I didn't do that as a publicity stunt. I did it because that's truly my heart. My heart is to give. I want to help people out. So think about this. I'm digitally prospecting people without digitally prospecting people, right? I'm getting people to know, like, and trust me in a time where people don't know what the fuck to think. They don't like what's going on, and they don't trust anybody. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do to get people to know, like, and trust me, and that's what you got to do right now. So making your post on Facebook, following the M3 method, being a giver, those are two huge things right now. Number 3 is call and check on your already existing customers. Right now, in a time where you have people who already know, like, and trust you, call the people who've already known, like, and trusted you to do business and check in on them. Hey, is your family okay? Is everything all right? Is the work that we did for you good? Is there any way that we can help you? Not sell you something. Is there any way that we can help you? That's going to lead to referrals. That's going to lead to them going, dude, in a time when everybody else was butt fucking each other over, they actually reached out to me and they made sure my family was okay. They made sure that we were happy. They made sure that everything was okay. They worked with me on payments. They worked with me on our cash flow situation. They worked with us. Like, think about that, how just reaching out to the people that already have done business with you and making sure that they're okay right now. Think of how that can make you a hero. Right now, the world's full of villains, right? Whether you realize it or not, the world's full of villains. And again, this is no tinfoil hat shit. But in a world full of villains, we need heroes. We need people who can step up. It isn't about digitally prospecting in the sense of spamming people's emails, spamming people's DMs, constantly posting on Facebook about how you need business, constantly posting on Instagram about how you're running this special or you've got this latest, greatest thing to survive a recession. It's not about any of that. It's about being a person of integrity, and being a person that is a giver, being a person that has faith that this stuff is going to pass by, and being the voice of certainty in the marketplace. So in times of turmoil, if you really want to be the attraction marketer where people reach out to you, send you referrals, people reach out to you and tell you how much they appreciate you, and people will reach out to you in the future with their credit card or their wallet open, ready to do business with you because of how you acted right now, that's how you need to be digitally prospecting right now. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this information, but more than enjoy it, I want you to implement it. And more than implement it, I want you to live the rest of your life this way. See, right now we've been forced to have a change of mind, a change of how we do things. And you have an opportunity to change how you do things going forward. You know, I'll give you an example. I used to be a bad guy, right? That was my thing. I was a bad guy. I was a drug dealer, was the dope man. If you owed me money, we'd kick in your door with guns. We'd go get your shit. I was a bad fucking guy. But I made a change. I've made a conscious decision to change from being the villain to being the hero, right? A lot of people make the change from being the hero to being the villain. I did the opposite of that. That was 20 years ago when I made that decision. And I'm sure glad that I did, because now I get to be the voice of reason for an entire generation. For generations to come, I get to be the voice of certainty. I get to be the voice that helps you out. I get to be the person that stands up and says, here's how you make it through tough times. Here's how you overcome adversity. But you have a choice right now to be a hero as well. And I hope that you make that decision to live your life the right way forever. And last of all, if your business is struggling right now, I feel for you, but you need to do everything in your power to never have to struggle again, right? Like if you were living paycheck to paycheck and you laid people off, I'm not judging you because you got to do what you got to do, but I made the decision to put my people first. But I made the decision to put my people first 5 years ago when I started saving money. I made the decision to put my people first 10 years ago when I didn't just go out and hire everybody and try to grow my business too big. I made the decision that, hey, if I'm going to get somebody in our circle that works in employment for me, I'm going to take care of them. I got to come in here the last 2 weeks and assure my people, your checks are good on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, just keep working. Just keep doing your thing. Even if we don't make money right now, we're going to be okay because we're going to serve the public more than ever. And on the other side of this, we'll be heroes that everybody loves. So if you had to go through and lay people off and stuff like that, Just be careful about how you do things in the future so that you don't have to put people who trusted you with their financial success, who trusted you with their income. You put them in, if you look at your company first and yourself first, I just don't agree with that. I agree that, like, you know, I can't just go fire my kids. If money gets tight, I can't just go get rid of my kids. If money gets tight, I can't just go get rid of my wife. If I had to, I'd sell a car or a watch. I'd go cash in my 401k, whatever the fuck I had to do to be able to pay my people. Because I look at the West End and they laid off all these people. And at the hotel, it's like, dude, you guys have been stacking cash for forever. You guys have a hotel that cash flows like a motherfucker. How are you just going to lay people off 2 weeks into the thing? So just make the decision that you don't put people in harm's way ever again, and make the decision to save money and not live check to check. Live below your means, right? $7 t-shirt, $40 jeans, $50 shoes. Think about it, right? I could afford Gucci. I could afford Louis Vuitton. I could have one of those Hermes belts that's like fucking $800. I don't, because I'm going to make sure that when shit hits the fan, that I can still take care of my people, because I treat them just like my kids. I can't just not feed them and kick them out. I chose to be financially responsible for them. So hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with somebody who needs to see it, and we'll catch you next time.